Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, for day 28, we're diving into the fascinating detective work of finding hidden patterns in completely chaotic data. You know, if you've been following our data science journey, we spend a ton of time on how machines learn when we literally give them all the answers up front. But today we're stepping out into the wild. We're tackling unsupervised learning. It's a totally different ballgame, and honestly, it's going to be one of the most exciting areas we explore.
So let's jump right in with a massive, real-world mystery straight from our source material. How exactly are customers grouped together? Think about a giant global retailer with, millions of online shoppers, right? They definitely don't have a team of people sitting in a room manually tagging every single user as a bargain hunter or a luxury buyer. No way. What they do have are mountains of raw data: purchase history, click rates, time spent browsing, the whole shebang. So the question is, how do they magically organize millions of completely unique individuals into these neat, targeted marketing groups without anyone explicitly telling the computer what to do? To solve that mystery, we need to look at Section 1, the Unlabeled Data mystery. What happens without an answer key?
Well, this brings us right to unsupervised learning. Now, that might sound a bit like a classroom without a teacher, but it's actually the incredibly powerful process of learning from unlabeled data. This is the absolute core of what we're talking about today. When we say unlabeled, we just mean the data doesn't come with any predefined tags, categories, or historical outcomes attached. There's literally no answer key. We're just feeding the algorithm a massive pile of raw information and essentially saying, all right, figure it out. Show me the structures you naturally see.
Let's see how this works in practice in Section 2, Grouping and Simplifying Data, the Investigator's Techniques.
All right, so here are our two main approaches side by side. On the left, we have clustering, which is grouping similar records together. Going back to that retailer mystery, clustering is the technique that automatically lumps all those weekend discount shoppers into one bucket and the high-end electronics buyers into another. It's actively hunting for similarities. Now flip over to the right, Dimensionality Reduction, where the goal is to reduce features. Imagine a dataset with 1,000 different variables per customer. That is incredibly complex, right? It takes massive computing power. Dimensionality reduction basically compresses that data. It strips away the noise and keeps only the most crucial features, simplifying your evidence without losing the actual story.
So we know the techniques. Well, what about the tools? That brings us to Section 3, the algorithms, the detective's tools.
First up is K-means. This is basically your go-to algorithm for the clustering side of things. Whenever you need to group similar records together like we just talked about, K-means is the workhorse you call in. It works by mathematically partitioning your unlabeled data into a specific number of groups. And by the way, that's exactly what the K stands for, based on their characteristics. It's an incredibly popular, standard way to automatically discover these distinct little neighborhoods of data hidden inside a chaotic dataset.
Then we have PCA, or Principal Component Analysis. This is the algorithm you reach for when you need to tackle dimensionality reduction. Remember how we just discussed reducing features to simplify things? PCA does exactly that. It's this brilliant mathematical technique that transforms a massive, multi-dimensional dataset into a smaller, way more manageable set of components, but it still retains the vast majority of the original info. It's kind of like summarizing a dense, 500-page textbook into a super crisp, highly accurate 10-page executive summary.
So, why does all this matter? Let's look at Section 4, Closing Cases, Real-World Applications.
It's pretty amazing how these theoretical algorithms translate into massive real-world value. I mean, these tools are the driving force behind some absolutely vital applications. First off, segmentation. We literally opened this explainer with the mystery of grouping customers, and here's the answer. Unsupervised learning powers customer segmentation. It allows businesses to perfectly tailor their strategies and ads. And second, think about fraud detection. Millions of credit card transactions are happening every single minute. Banks can't manually label them all, but these unsupervised algorithms can learn the normal, everyday patterns of your spending and then, boom, instantly flag an anomaly. Like, say, a huge purchase halfway across the world. It spots that out-of-place data point without ever being explicitly told what fraud looks like. Let's pivot to how you can actually use this. Section 5. Your next hidden pattern. Putting it into practice.
You can start right away by taking on a mini project centered on customer segmentation, which is step 1 right here. I'd highly recommend grabbing a raw, unlabeled dataset of customer behaviors online and seeing if you can programmatically separate them into profiles yourself. Then, for step 2, tackle the assignment, deeply research the K-means algorithm. Really dive into the mechanics of how it calculates distances and assigns data points. Getting your hands dirty with this is absolutely how you're going to lock in these concepts.
And to test your active learning right now, think about how you'd answer this classic interview question. What is clustering? Seriously, if you're sitting across from a hiring manager for a big data role, you're going to need a crisp, confident answer. Think back to what we just covered. You'd want to explain that it's an unsupervised learning technique used to automatically group similar records together from an unlabeled dataset, finding those inherent structures without any predefined categories.
To push that even further, challenge yourself with this quiz prompt from the source material. Try to list out your own real-world examples of clustering. We've talked about customer segmentation and fraud detection, but what else is out there? Could it be grouping news articles by underlying topics? Or maybe how your phone organizes a massive library of photos by identifying similar faces? Take just a minute after this explainer wraps up to brainstorm 3 unique examples of clustering in your own daily life. It's a really fantastic mental exercise.
So the absolutely crucial point to take away from this explainer, your ultimate goal with unsupervised learning, is simple. Find hidden patterns. Whether you're grouping records with clustering or reducing features with dimensionality reduction using tools like K-means and PCA, you are basically acting as a data detective. You're making sense of the unknown. But I want to leave you with a slightly provocative thought. If these unsupervised algorithms are getting so incredibly efficient at finding hidden patterns in our behaviors, patterns that even we aren't consciously aware of, what happens when the machine actually knows your habits better than you know yourself? Think about that as you dive into your projects. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep structured and keep finding those hidden patterns.